Let's talk about Subaru Corporation. In a car market that's absolutely packed with competition, how does a smaller Japanese company not just survive, but actually thrive? That's what we're digging into.
Here's the key to understanding them. Subaru isn't just another car company. At its heart, it's an aircraft manufacturer that also happens to build cars. And that origin story, well, it explains pretty much everything about their strategy today. And just so we're clear, all the information we're about to cover comes straight from their official corporate disclosures. No speculation, just a fact.
All right, here's a quick look at our game plan. We'll cover the company's overview, its business segments, the competitive landscape, financials, and what they've been up to recently. Let's get started.
Okay, first up, the big picture. You really can't get what Subaru is all about today without looking back at where they came from. And their story doesn't start on the road, it starts in the sky. They were originally the Nakajima Aircraft Company, which was, believe it or not, Japan's biggest aircraft maker at one point. This right here is their secret sauce, the niche top strategy. It's the core of their entire business. See, Subaru isn't playing the volume game. They are not trying to be the biggest automaker in the world. Nope. Their goal is to be the absolute best for a very specific, very loyal group of people, focusing on two things above all else: safety and enjoyment. And here are just the basic corporate details to give you a sense of their scale. All of this, of course, comes from their latest filings. Okay, so let's get into the nuts and bolts of the business. How do they actually make money? This is where that dual identity, cars and planes, really comes into play and creates this really powerful and pretty unusual synergy. So, no big surprises here, right? Cars make up almost all of their revenue. It's the financial engine that keeps the whole thing running. But, and this is a big but, that tiny little slice for aerospace, you could say that's the company's soul. It's where the real DNA comes from. Drilling down into the car side of things, their success is just incredibly focused. About 70% of their sales are in North America alone. They've zeroed in on the SUV market with icons like the Forester and the Outback. And because of their unique tech, that symmetrical all-wheel drive and the Boxer engine, they command really strong prices. People are willing to pay for it, which means Subaru doesn't have to slash prices to move cars off the lot. That brand loyalty is just fierce. And now for that small but mighty aerospace division. This is what I find so fascinating. They're a key partner for Boeing, building the super complex central wing for planes like the 787. Now, think about that. When you're building something that absolutely positively cannot fail, it creates a culture of obsession over safety and engineering. And that obsession, it flows directly into their car business. It's the reason their eyesight safety system is so good. It's literally in their DNA. Okay, so we know what Subaru does, but how do they fit into the bigger picture? Let's zoom out and look at the global auto industry, which, as you know, is full of giants. Get this. For all the brand recognition they have, Subaru has only about 1% of the global market. They are a tiny player, a small fish in a massive ocean. And that's what makes their story so incredible. Because, as we'll see in a minute, their profitability is off the charts. It's the ultimate proof that their niche strategy really works.
So how do they pull it off? They just don't play the same game as everyone else. Take a company like Volvo. They're also all about safety, right? But Subaru carves out its own space. They connect that safety to this image of an active, outdoor, all-weather lifestyle. They're not just selling you a car to get from A to B. They're selling you the tool for your next adventure, with the promise that you'll get there and back safely.
Now, the auto industry is facing some major headwinds. Electrification, software, rising costs. It's a lot. And according to their own documents, Subaru has a really clear three-part plan. For the super expensive shift to EVs, they're leaning on their alliance with Toyota. For software, they're putting all their chips on their homegrown eyesight system. And to fight rising costs, they're banking on their brand power to keep prices and margins strong.
All right, let's talk money. Time to look at the financial performance. And just a heads up, this data is all from their official full-year statements, and we're going to focus on the story the numbers tell, not just the numbers themselves.
You can see here a really clear, strong climb in revenue over the past few years. What's behind it? Well, mostly it's production getting back to normal after all the supply chain chaos, plus just really solid ongoing demand, especially from their key market in North America. Okay, and if you thought the revenue growth was good, look at the operating profit. It's even more dramatic. It's really a perfect storm of good news for them. They're selling more cars, the currency exchange rates have been in their favor, and that high-value sales strategy we talked about is really paying off, protecting those profit margins.
And this really brings it all home. An operating profit margin of almost 10%. I mean, in the auto industry, that is huge. It puts them in a very, very elite club of the most profitable car makers in the world. And what does that mean? It means they have a ton of cash on hand to pour into the next big things like EVs and even better safety tech.
Okay, last but not least, let's look at what they've been up to lately. Their recent announcements give us a really good clue about their momentum and where they're headed. Looking at their recent milestones, a clear pattern emerges, doesn't it? On one hand, you have major awards. I mean, Japan Car of the Year for the Forester is a huge deal. It's external proof that their products and tech are top-notch. And on the other hand, you see them boosting returns to shareholders, which just screams financial confidence. So, what's the big takeaway here? Subaru is the perfect example of a company that turned what could be a weakness, its smaller size, into its greatest strength. They thrive by being different, not by trying to be the biggest. So who should be paying attention to this company? Well, if you're a business leader, an investor, or a strategist, and you're interested in how to build a super profitable niche brand in a tough industry, you should definitely have Subaru on your radar.
For more fact-based briefings on leading Japanese companies just like this one, make sure you subscribe.